These massive sea creatures that washed up out of nowhere will absolutely shock you. The New Zealand colossal squid. Imagine staring into the glassy, lidless eye of a creature larger than a dinner plate, an eye so huge it can spot prey in pitch black depths where sunlight has never reached. In 2007, New Zealand fishermen accidentally hooked one of the ocean's most terrifying mysteries, the colossal squid. This beast measured an astonishing 14 feet long, weighing nearly 1,000 pounds, and apparently it wasn't even a full-grown adult. Unlike the more famous giant squid, the colossal squid is far rarer. It's armed with rotating hooks on its tentacles, serrated like a circular saw, perfectly designed to shred prey in the deep Antarctic seas. Now, scientists had speculated for years about its existence, but when this massive carcass was dragged from the raw sea, it confirmed nightmares that sailors had whispered about for centuries. Even scarier, its beak, the size of a dinner plate, literally was so sharp it could slice through flesh and bone effortlessly. The colossal squid is still almost entirely unknown to science. We've only recovered a handful of specimens, leaving experts to wonder, just how big can these monsters really get? If this one was nearly 1,000 pounds and not even mature, what's waiting for us in the depths we've never explored? The Montauk Monster in New York. Now picture this, a grotesque, bloated creature with raw-looking skin, beady eyes, and a beak-like mouth washing up on a Long Island beach in 2008. Well, locals dubbed it the Montauk Monster. Now, within hours, images of its bizarre, almost alien body went absolutely viral. Some said it was a deceased raccoon. Others swore it was a government experiment gone wrong from the nearby Plum Island Animal Disease Center. Now, its strange body, hairless, rubbery, and with bizarre elongated limbs, didn't match any known sea animal. Conspiracy theories exploded, with many believing it was a failed hybrid experiment that escaped into the ocean. Even today, no official explanation has satisfied the public. Most people who encountered the story, which is just about everyone, agreed it was an animal, though some floated the idea that it could be a marketing stunt for the Cartoon Network's cryptids are real. Now, what no one could agree on was what kind of animal, or even if it hit the beach deceased or alive. Theories abound as to what these creatures are. Allegedly, the New York City Parks Department told Animal New York that the 2012 East River monster was a pig left over from a cookout. Other fantastical and pedestrian possibilities do include deceased dogs, bloated raccoons, the fabled chupacabra, turtles mangled by the sea, rotting otters, government manufactured bioweapons, or Satan himself. So was it simply decomposition at work, or did New York beaches really cough up something unearthly? Scientists tried to dismiss it as a raccoon carcass ultimately, but the disturbing photos still leave viewers unsettled. The Florida sea monster carcass of 1896. Now, in 1896, a beach in St. Augustine, Florida, became the stage for one of the most famous monster discoveries of all time. Locals woke up to find a giant pale mass of flesh, 21 feet long and weighing nearly 7 tons, stranded on the sand. The creature was dubbed the St. Augustine Monster, and it terrified the whole community. Early reports described it as an octopus of impossible size, far larger than anything science had ever recorded. The sheer bulk of this thing seemed otherworldly, with rope-like fibers of tissue unlike any known animal. They allegedly also said it had 7 legs and a tail, but as research went on, it apparently was revealed that it wasn't actually a tail at all, but something else entirely. Now, for decades, debates raged on. Was it a giant squid, a whale, or some undiscovered leviathan? In modern times, scientists tested preserved samples and identified it as whale blubber. But here's the catch. The tissue structure was bizarrely different from normal whale fat, leaving many to question if that conclusion was just an attempt to close the case. So some people online have now resorted to believing that based off the sheer size of this thing, it could have very well been the Kraken. And because it was originally noted that the tentacles looked to have been cut off, that means the tentacles could have been up to 100 feet long, which would make sense if it was the Kraken, right? So, I mean, technically, they just declared it as a giant octopus, but people aren't convinced. I mean, look at the old pirate pictures where it shows the Kraken. Like, those could be real and not just made up. I mean, it's a lot to think about. But even now, the St. Augustine Monster stands as one of the most legendary unexplained sea carcasses in American history. the Indonesian sea monster of 2017. Now, in 2017, villagers on the island of Seram in Indonesia woke to a news headline like no other. One woman spotted a very mysterious creature in the water, and luckily, she filmed it. Its massive body was filmed gliding in the water near the shoreline, sparking panic and confusion. Locals thought it was a sea monster or even a giant squid. I mean, its size and bizarre shape baffled authorities even. Some believed it was a whale, but the footage didn't resemble any known whale species. The creature's skin and size almost seemed alien. It was basically unidentifiable. Now, the footage is honestly quite eerie, but also very fascinating. It doesn't look fake, well, at least to me. It doesn't look edited, and the creature looks massive and too long to be considered a whale or any other animal that would be in the water. It almost, to be honest, in my opinion, which doesn't mean much, let's be real, but it almost looks like a giant snake to me. I mean, experts later concluded it was likely a baleen whale, but many weren't convinced. I mean, the images and footage went viral, and to this day, the sea monster remains a very chilling reminder of how little we understand about the giants of the deep. But what do you guys think it could be? I mean, I'm stumped on this one. The Bermuda globster. Now, tourists vacationing in Bermuda got more than white sand and turquoise seas. They stumbled across a massive decomposed sea carcass nicknamed the globster, which is a term scientists use for unidentifiable ocean marines that don't fit any category. Now, this particular globster was terrifying. Over 50 feet long, it had rubbery white tissue, strands of cartilage-like fibers, and no clear head or limbs. I mean, it looks like it was coated with some sort of white, shiny hair, and honestly, it just looks like something that, you know, should absolutely not exist, at least not on this planet. Now, at first glance, it looked like something, of course, again, out of a, Lovecraft novel, a formless horror pulled from the ocean's abyss. What made it eerie, though, was the samples taken. It didn't match any known species at the time. Some biologists speculated it was an unknown giant octopus or deep sea creature we just never cataloged. Later DNA testing suggested, whale remains, but the mystery lingers because eyewitness, describes or their descriptions didn't actually match whale decomposition. Now, people on social media had a field day with this one, of course. Lots of debates and opinions on what it could be. Lots of comments from people saying it has to be a whale, and some others just simply saying, you had me at sea monster, because yeah, honestly, that's exactly what it looks like. One stranger's theory is that it may be the Loch Ness monster, but that one's a little crazy to believe even for me. But what do you guys make of it? The Chilean giant sea serpent of 2023. So in 2023, a horrifying mass of flesh the size of a bus was pulled from the water in Chile. Now, measuring over 40 feet long and weighing several tons, the creature's body was covered in rope-like fibers and a strange jelly-like consistency. Now, at first, scientists were completely stumped. It didn't resemble a whale, shark, or squid. Its enormous size led some to speculate it was the remains of a giant octopus, something so massive, it would shatter current scientific understanding. The Chilean government even called in marine biologists to investigate it. Now, on the footage, of course it made its rounds online. Lots of people had theories. Now, some said it was a Japanese fish that lives in the darkest depth of the ocean. They say if you see this fish, the end of the world is close. Others said oarfish, but to be honest, most people, said it was a doomsday fish and shouldn't have been pulled out. I mean, that's kind of scary, right? I mean, this was a couple years ago. The rapture just passed a few days ago. I mean, we're still here, so I guess we're okay. The ocean is hiding something monstrous. Whether you believe in sea monsters or not, one thing is certain, they seem to keep popping up. So keep your eyes open next time you're by the sea. You never know what you might see. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Ashley. I'll see you next time.